Today, I'm going to talk about the number one strategy that has helped me overcome my issues with food and weight loss. And before I get into that, I just want to share that I'm Melissa Costello. I'm a transformational eating coach and a holistic nutritionist. I've written a couple cookbooks, and I love coming live on Facebook so that I can share awesome strategies, tips, and trainings to help people break out of the vicious cycle with food and dieting. So the diet industry, unfortunately, it's a $1 billion industry. And why is it a $1 billion industry? Well, because diets don't work. We all know that. They're not sustainable. We can go on a diet and lose weight, but can we keep that weight off? And over 90% of people who lose weight on a diet gain it back within a year, and then some. And then they struggle to get back on track or back in the groove. And then it's really hard because you can feel like a failure or you can feel disappointed. And in my journey with food, I struggled for probably 30 some years. I'm almost 50. I'm going to be 50 next year. So I would say up until a solid 5 years ago, I was struggling with body image and food issues. And so that's why I wanted to share my number one strategy with you today that really supported me in shifting these issues. Now, it wasn't my only strategy. It was my number one strategy. It was the one that was the most powerful for me. And I'm going to definitely share that with you today. And before I go there, I want to tell you that on November 15th, I'm hosting a live webinar. It's called Banish Overeating and Take Your Power Back from Food. And I'm going to be sharing 4 more incredible strategies that I use with my clients and that I use with myself, and that really, really help people. So you can sign up for that above in the link on my page. If you go to the header, you can sign up right there. But anyway, so let's go back to my number one strategy. So just a little bit about my story. A lot of you have heard it, but maybe some of you are new here. So I struggled with body image issues and food issues for over 30 years. And like I said, I'm almost 50. And it was not until about a solid 5 years ago that I really felt like I broke through to the other side. And what that looked like for me was overeating, emotional eating, binge eating, dieting, restricting, tons of rules. I had so many rules around food. What's good, what's bad, I can't eat that, I can't eat this, I can't eat past this time. Oh, I can only eat this on weekends. Whatever it was, I had so many rules. And the rules were the thing that really set me up to feel like a failure all the time. And I want to talk more about that in my webinar that's coming up next week. So the rules really, really kept me stuck. And because when I broke a rule, there was so much judgment and there was so much self-criticism, and I just felt powerless all the time. And then the way I felt about my body was always basically related to how I ate. I'm writing a blog about this right now, how I really shifted my perception of my body. And when I did that, how the weight naturally fell off. And now I'm at my natural weight, and I've been here for over 5 years, and I've never restricted and I've never deprived myself in those 5 years. So it is possible to find our natural body weight, to find a weight that feels really good for our bodies, because our bodies want to be at a natural weight. And unfortunately, we fight them. We think that we should weigh what we did in high school, or we should weigh what we did 20 years ago, or whatever that unrealistic number is in your head. Your body might not want to be there. And so that is something that can also keep us really, really stuck in this cycle, is thinking that our body should be looking differently or weigh something differently than what it is. And so over the course of the years, my constant weighing myself, wait till you read my blog, it's really great. It talks about my morning fat check routine, and I'll go more into that in my blog. So make sure you get on my email list so you can get a copy of that. It's going out tomorrow morning. But it's a really, really great blog about my journey with accepting my body, and how when I did that, and it's not to say that I accept my body fully all the time. There's still moments I have where I don't like what I see. But I'll talk more about that in the blog, and you can get that. If you go to my website and get on my email list, you'll have privy to that. karmachow.com. Anyway, so let's get to my number one strategy that has helped me. Now, this is not the only strategy. This is my number one strategy that really, really helped me get through my issues with food. And it's probably going to surprise you, and you're probably going to go, how does that help anybody? But this was really the most powerful strategy. When I look at all the strategies, I mean, there was a lot of them that I used, a lot of them that I tried out that didn't feel good, and then I shifted into something else. And so what I had to do was put all the pieces of the puzzle together. But this one strategy was the most powerful for me. So this strategy is all about practicing the pause. And you're probably thinking, what does that even mean? Practicing the pause. This strategy for me, and I'm going to talk more about what it means. This strategy for me was so powerful. Now, it might not work for you the way it worked for me. My guess is that it will if you give it time and if you're consistent with it. And so what practicing the pause means is, well, let me say this first before I get into that. So in today's society, we are so busy. We're running around. We're overly booked. We have email and Facebook and social media and computers and iPads, and there's so much information coming at us all the time. And as kids, a lot of us weren't taught to learn how to slow down and feel. You know, our feelings were something that were not talked about. We had to figure out what to do with our feelings, and most of us stuffed them down, or we were taught that it's not good to feel feelings, like if you're having a tantrum or you're angry, that you shouldn't feel those feelings. And so we got busy. We just started doing. We started making to-do lists and overachieving, and you know, we couldn't be bored for any amount of time, because then we would start to feel stuff. And so with the pause, practicing the pause, what this does is it helps you slow down and connect to your body. And I'm going to tell you how to practice the pause. But it helps you slow down and connect to your body, because your body is the thing that's going to tell you exactly what it needs. Unfortunately, we're listening to this all the time, and this gets us in trouble all the time. So our minds are going to keep us stuck in negative patterns. Our bodies will not do that. Our bodies want to be balanced. They want to be healthy. They want to feel good. They want to be at a weight that feels good for it, that's healthy and empowering. And so we've become so disconnected from our bodies that we don't trust them anymore. And when we're dieting, we are saying to our body, I do not trust you. When we're restricting food, we're saying to our body, I don't trust you to do what you're supposed to do if I'm eating a normal diet for myself. And so we think we have to restrict, we think we have to cut back, and then that leads to a pendulum swing where once we're under eating and then we're overeating. And so there's always going to be that pendulum swing, and that's why dieting does not work. It's not sustainable, because we're so deprived for so long that it's almost guaranteed that we're going to go off the rails. So practicing the pause brings us present to our body. So the way you do that is you, anytime you are going to eat, or you think you're hungry, or you're going toward food, or you're standing in front of the cupboard going, I want something, I have a craving, what is it that I want? I don't really know what I want you to stop. I want you to take a deep breath and just check in and see what's present. Practice the pause. So what normally happens when we do that is that we really recognize that maybe we're not physically hungry. There's more that goes along with this, and I'm going to talk about that in my webinar, but this is a really good first step, because what I want you to do is just notice what you feel when you pause. And some people are so afraid to pause because they don't want to feel anything. And they use food to stuff down their feelings and their emotions. They use food to numb out. And so what that leads to is weight gain and extra calories and, overeating. It leads to all of those things. And then we get so frustrated because we can't understand why we were so good all day. We can't understand why we're gaining weight, or we can't lose weight, because we're taking in way more calories than we need to. We're not living presently. We're not pausing. We're not connecting to our bodies. So practice the pause. And again, this is part of my 5 strategies that I'm going to be sharing in my webinar on Wednesday that you can sign up for. In the header above on my Facebook page where it says sign up, there's a little header there. It says Banish Overeating Webinar. You can sign up. It's totally free. And I'm going to be talking about these top 5 strategies that have supported me in breaking free of all of these food issues and body issues I had. And so when you practice the pause, just slow down and check in. Ask yourself, am I hungry? That's part of practicing the pause. Am I hungry? Am I physically hungry? Or am I feeling something else right now? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Do I feel overwhelmed? Check in, pause, see what's really happening there. And then from that place, you can actually make a more informed choice. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to eat. You might eat anyway. Even if you're not physically hungry and you feel like you're needing something, you might not be ready to deal with whatever's there. But what the pause will do is bring you more aware of what's happening and what's driving your behavior with food. So in order to heal our issues with food, we have to understand what drives the issues with food. It has nothing, and I will repeat this, it has nothing to do with the food itself. Nothing at all. And so if you think the food is the issue, I'm happy you're here because the food is not the issue. What's really the issue is your beliefs, your thought patterns, and your behaviors that are driving what you do with the food and how you use the food. And so often we are taught to reward ourselves. We're taught to clean our plates. We're taught that food is comforting. We feel a certain way when we eat. We change our state when we eat. It gives us a dopamine hit. And so food provides all of these things for us so we don't have to really, really feel what's going on underneath the surface. Food is just the crutch. It's the thing we lean on. So the number 1 strategy to support you in moving past that is to practice the pause. And if you're just getting on and you missed this, you can go back and watch it. Practicing the pause means slowing down, just literally stopping, taking a breath before you take any other action, before you eat, before you cook, before you decide to do anything, before you grab the chips out of the cupboard, before you grab the candy out of the candy bowl at work, right? How many times have you got up in the middle of the day, 3 p.m., and thought, oh man, I need coffee, I need something, and you go into the break room, and there's all this candy all over the place, and you just pop it into your mouth. Don't even think about it. You don't even think about it because you haven't paused. So practice the pause. Like I said, this is one of the top 5 strategies that I use with my clients, and I'll be sharing with you on my live free webinar next week. It's a live training. It's on the 15th at 5 p.m. Pacific. Even if you can't make it, make sure you claim your spot because you will get the replay. And you can sign up right on this Facebook page above at the header. I'm also coming out with a brand new blog tomorrow. I'm going to talk all about my body acceptance journey and how that helped me lose weight as well. So you want to make sure you check that blog out on my website, karmachow.com. And as always, I will be here every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific. And I hope to see you in my webinar. I'm going to be sharing more of these incredible strategies that have helped me heal my relationship with food, my relationship with my body, and all of these things that I struggled with for over 30 years. I don't want you to struggle for over 30 years. You may already have been struggling for over 30 years, and you have probably been trying to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And we know what that is, right? Insanity. So if you're really ready to do something different and to take a different action and make a big, bold move for yourself, then come join my webinar. It's going to be incredible, and I'm going to be sharing all my awesome strategies. I'm going to have a really, really great bonus gift for people. So claim your spot. There's only 250 spots available, and I'm already over half full. So make sure you get your spot. Click on the header up above on my Facebook page and join me, and I hope to see you there. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and remember, practice the pause. Slow down. You don't need to go so fast. You don't need to go so fast. Connect to your body. See what your body really wants. That's where so much wisdom and information is. And I'll leave you guys with that. Have a great weekend. Bye.